Good morning, class. My name is Dr. Araipur. You can call me Dr. A if you have a hard time pronouncing it. And welcome to your course, Statistics or Elementary Statistics. I've sent you several emails regarding the course, and I hope you've had a chance to explore it. Basically, when you go to the homepage of the course, everything is outlined for you right here as to what you need to do. So let's quickly go over all of them. The very first one, there is a welcome message here in case you have not watched it. It's a very short video welcoming you to the course. I am pleased and delighted to have you here. Welcome to your course and best of luck. The second one is the class philosophy. So quickly, this class is a community and therefore we all have the same objective, which is to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you are not in this alone. The bottom line is, this is an online course and you can use the discussion forum to discuss things amongst yourself. And of course, I'm in contact with you. You can be in contact with me. Therefore, it's in essence a community, and I hope that it feels like, in essence, like an on-campus course. Number three, we have the announcements here. And what I want to do here is to put this in a student format. Student view. So under the announcements, so the next one, whether you click on this one, by the way, or on the left side, we have a navigation bar. Everybody can see the navigation bar on the left side, either here or here. This is number three. It'll take us to the announcements. And these are the announcements that have been available to you. Number one, I sent you recorded orientation, welcome and orientation, exemption to orientation, and welcome to your virtual course. This was sent a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to go over that. You've seen them. That is in your emails. I hope as an online student, you do learn, you do read your emails from A to Z. And so this was telling us, for example, that the course starts in a couple of weeks. And then I repeated, sending you another one that said it starts in a week, and another one that said it starts in a couple of days. You don't have to purchase anything. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do, get familiarized with the course, and everything is provided for you. Now, the next one, number 4 here, takes us to this column: syllabus, modules, homework, practice test, discussion forum. There's a note here, exams, and of course, I have put together office hours for you in case you have any questions. This is a sort of office hours exam review, if you will. Now, so the first one is the syllabus. So again, you can click on this or right here. Either way makes no difference. It will, let's try it here this time. So we have the syllabus and we have the Excel calendar. Okay, so let's quickly look at both. Again, nowadays, syllabi are really large, and you may not want to read the whole thing. That's why I put them in this format. So we have topics, student learning outcome, text, calendar, so on and so forth. So you can look at a specific topic of your choosing if you like. Now, if we scroll down, we see everything here. So I'm going to go over the syllabus, a synopsis of that. And if something is extremely important, you can come back and revisit that. So first, we have the student learning outcome and what you will achieve by the time that we complete the course. The text is by OpenStax. It's free and it's available here. It's introductory statistics, and I'll show you in my OpenMath. Also, you can grab it here or from my OpenMath that I'm going to refer to it as MOM from now on. The online assignment takes place in my OpenMath, as I mentioned, the digital homework, which is absolutely free. And now we have the class calendar, the orientation, of course, you're already here. And the exams, basically in about a week, the first exam happens and then continues in the same format. I have put every exam on Saturdays, except the first one. I wanted to give you a little bit more time, and the last one, which is the last day. So in about 7 to 8 days, that's a very fast-paced course. So everything takes place online. You can use a calculator, you can use tables, formula sheets, and I tell you where to find it. Tech support for the digital homework by OpenMath. And here's the tech support for campus in case you need help. Math Success Center, or MSC, we're going to refer to it. We do have it on our Canvas. I'll show you. And if you want more information about them, you can go to this website or call them. It's available for free tutoring for students. There are other helpful websites. And this is probably the most important thing I would say the students are interested to know, and that would be the grading policy. I grade out of 1,000 points, so it makes it easy to see where we are at any given time. Online homework, 200 points. You can do it as many times as you want, so it's easy to get all those points. Discussion forum, it's 100 points. That's also very simple. I'll show you when we come across that. Each exam is worth 100 points. There are 4 of them. And the final, which is comprehensive, 300 points, giving us a total of 1,000 points. Now, I want to quickly mention something about the final test. Although it's comprehensive, it's very simple because all you have to do is study the previous 4 exams and the new module. That's all. 90% or 900 and above is an A. 80%, that means 800 points or above to 899 is a B, so on and so forth. So that's, I believe, the most important part. There is no makeup policy because you have the time when I send you an email, from the time you receive the email until the due date, you can take the exam. Therefore, there is no makeup policy. Let me know unless something comes up. Now, the lowest exam grade before the final may be, pay attention to this, may be replaced by the final score, as long as the final score is good. That means at least 80% or higher. Homework and discussion board grades are both at 90% or higher. And this action will result in a higher letter grade. If I make a change and nothing happens, it makes no sense. Needless to say, failing to take any exam results in a 0 point. That's not going to be replaced. There's a 10% deduction for coursework which is late, but you can't have a late exam or a final or the last module, because immediately after that I have to turn in the grades. So there are other information here. This is interesting, and I put it here, known as CSULB 36. According to CSULB 36, you need 3 times the number of units per week for a 16-week for a regular semester. Okay, that's why. And over there, 12 units means you have a 4 load, so 3 times 12 makes it 36. However, for this course, you need to study a minimum of 20 hours per week, since this is a short-term semester. Dropping policy, basically, if you miss the orientation, you're already here, or do not register with the publisher on time. It's the first assignment. I'll show you what it is, or basically any of the exams. There are more informations here that are more useful information, such as the SPS and financial aid, and their numbers, their websites. And the summary to be successful, basically study the PowerPoints in each module. You have PowerPoints in the modules. Also, you have the videos, if you will, within my open math. Do your homework before the deadline. Okay. Under the module link, watch the video lectures embedded in homework set in my open math. Study the practice test and their solution, post question in the discussion forum on Canvas. Send your questions via Canvas inbox or campus email. And if you want to attend the review session, or you can watch the recording and then take the exam. Here's the office hours are put for the students in case they need help. And time frame for the exam, you will receive the result immediately. I posted on Canvas, maximum within actually a couple of days. Now, the emails are answered within 24 hours. I normally answer my emails the same day, but in case worst case scenario, it takes 24 hours. And there are other websites, okay, useful websites for basic needs, Justice Scholar program. I want to discuss the what they call netiquette for online learning. And there are a bunch of them here. I'm not going to go over that. But what I want to tell you in short is this. You want to respect one another. So you want to be very careful with your language, okay, whether it's written or not. It has to be professional. It's coming from a college student. So when you write emails, please make sure you write them with proper format. All right, so that was the syllabus. Here's the Excel calendar that comes with that. And just so you know what's happening, this was the first day. There is the very first assignment, a mandatory introduction assignment to MOM or my open math, which is due tomorrow. And it's a simple case. If you don't do that in time, you can't continue with the course, because this is really not about math, but rather how to use that digital platform. The very first exam is next Wednesday, okay? And all your homework that pertain to that are due the day before. You see it in MOM. And then we have the second exam here, the third exam, the fourth exam, the final. So we have this, and at any given time, you can go back to the syllabus and observe it. Going back to the homepage. The next one is modules. Click on the module link and you can print the practice test, watch the PowerPoint, solve the practice test, homework. Everything is basically under the module. So let me go to the next topic, modules and navigation bar, or you can click it here. Either way is fine, okay? So let's see what we find. First and foremost, we find my open math. And over here, class, you want to register. If you click on that, it will ask you for username and password, okay, to sign in. Or you create an account. If you don't have, if you've never had any account with my open math, which I assume you didn't, you just open an account here by entering username, password, you name it. So let me actually close this one. And so that's the way you get into your digital homework. I will get to that at the end. I'll show you how you do your homework. The next one is module 1. You see a bunch of stuff underneath, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, all of them are similar. So I'm going to cover only the first module, and the rest are similar, except the very last one. So what do you find? for the last module. You find formula sheets, formulas, tables, TI calculator information. So let me quickly show you. The very last module is universal. It's for every module, okay? So these are the formulas that basically covers every formula in the entire course, okay? The next one is the tables. You need tables such as the z-score, t-table or t-score, chi-square, so on and so forth. Again, we are looking at the last module. This one is information about calculators, especially TI calculator. So basically, the commands that will help you, but do the work. But understand, you have to show work, you have to show formulas. And on this page, you may be able to download an emulator for a calculator. It looks like this. Again, you gotta go to YouTube, watch that, see how you can download that, okay? And sometimes it's not easy to make it work, okay? But give it a shot. That is a free calculator. There are other free calculators online. And then we have commands, many commands. And again, various calculators. If you go at the end, let's see, over here, online stat calculators, so on and so forth. And I'll show you some of them in, again, in my open math. So this very last module, everybody, it's universal, pertains to all modules, and it has formulas, tables, calculators. Go back to the top and the very first module. I start with a practice test. Why do I do that? You have a choice of either downloading this or actually printing this, okay? And so what I like you to do is the very first time you go on, you look at this and take 5 minutes to read all it says, what you're getting yourself into for the first module, which covers the first 3 chapters. This is the synopsis of 3 chapters, everybody. Then on a daily basis, all you have to do a couple of questions. If you do a few questions per day, this becomes a piece of cake, I promise you. Some of them are definitions, some of them things to be worked out. So that's the first thing, your practice test. Let me close this one. The next one starts with the chapters we cover. So we are covering the first 3 chapters for module 1. So for example, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So I'm going to show you, for example, chapter 1. What do you find there? Under chapter 1, you find my PowerPoints right here. So if you click on it, the PowerPoint shows up. And if you download and you put it in slide mode, you won't see the whole page like this, but line by line, or if you are solving an example, you don't see it like this. You just see the question first, and then you can see the answer step by step if you download and do that. So it's not the whole thing that you see in one shot. And if you go back, then here's section 1.2, here's section 1.3 in the same manner. So we have the module 1, we have the practice test, we have the PowerPoints per chapter, in this case, the first 3 chapters. what comes last? This is the solution with details for practice test. So when we go back, this was the practice test. Now we have the solution to practice test. However, please don't look at that until the end. After you've done your part, you consult with that to make sure your answer is correct. If you start with the solution to practice test, it defeats the purpose of learning, okay? So a quick recap. Under the modules, we're going to discuss the digital homework in a moment. You have module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all similar. They start with the practice test, then the chapter PowerPoint, and then the solution. And we end with the module that has the formulas, tables, information about calculators. Going back to the homepage, we covered basically the modules. Now the homework, I will come to that, is done through my Open Math. Practice test keys were explained under the modules. Let's go over the discussion forum. And again, you can find the discussion forum here, or again, on this left navigation bar here. Either way makes no difference. Now, first and foremost, we have the student bios. So I put mine, okay? So just as a sample, as an example, I appreciate if you put your student bios, and so your fellow students get to know you. Please, if you want to answer anybody's bio, if you want to make any comment, you're more than welcome to do so. Please, with of course, respect and encouraging points of view. The next one is called FAQ, frequently asked questions. If you have any questions that other students have asked in the past, and I thought it's important, I put it here for you. So please, before you ask any question, check it out here. Can I use a math editor? You need to use a math editor for the discussion forums. Here's it says how. Do I need a course ID? No, you don't need a course ID to start with my Open Math, because you get to it through Canvas. Then the technical support, access, how do I access the expired homework? It is explained here. How to review assignments in MOM, where to find the exam password, announcement with the exam title are emailed to students and have all the information, including the exam password. Because this happens almost every semester, and I never understood why, because students don't read this and they don't read their email. So you want to make sure you do that. So that's the discussion forum. Now, the next discussion forum now, none of them is graded. Now, from number 1 to number 5, these 5 are graded, okay? And each one is worth 20 points. You get easy 20 points. Here's what is expected. So let's quickly read that, and I highly recommend you read it again before you do any of the discussion forums. You are required to post at least one question and its solution, either from practice test number 1, posted under the modules, or any other source of your choice. Just pick a question, but it has to pertain to this module, meaning chapters 1, 2, 3, not a different module, okay? Before you post, read all the posts, because you want to avoid duplication. Duplication is not acceptable. Questions and solutions posted by others first, so read them. And pick a different question, no duplication is allowed. A question with one word solution, one line solution, or just definition is not acceptable and results in a 0 point. So don't put any of those. Write the question number and copy down the question. Show all steps using the math equation editor, or embed an image solution, because you want to show formulas and steps, okay? Just the key is not acceptable. So that gives you 10 points. Then find a similar problem on YouTube and put the link there. That gives you 5 points. Finally, comment on or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it, and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice, but it's not a comment, and that gives you 5 points. In other words, don't just say, okay, thank you so much, I learned a lot. That's not a comment. You have to write down what you learned. And here's the simple example. This question is asking for the mean, median, and mode. I have the formulas, and I come up with the answer. The same thing for the median. Okay, I say I have to rank him, and I take it from there. And the mode, and then I pick a similar question on YouTube, and my comment on somebody's supposedly, post, and I'm explaining what the Z-score is, and I explain what I learned from that. Okay, so then we have how to embed an image, how to use the math editor here. So I got everything for you here in case you, again, you can just do it by hand and, take a picture and upload it, not a PDF file, because students have to be able to see your work. Also, you can use a math editor. Make sure you use formulas. So that's the discussion. That gives you easy 20 points. There are 5 of them, 5 times 20 makes it 100 points. So getting all the points from the discussion forum should be a piece of cake. 5 times 20, 100 points. Now, optional sample test on this left side. If you look at this one is optional because we got everything here. However, you want to make a note of this website in case something goes wrong with Canvas, things are not available. All of those information, the PowerPoints and videos, everything is also available here. This just in case the Canvas is not available. Otherwise, you really don't need that. Again, I'm going to emphasize that you don't need to worry about this unless something goes wrong with the Canvas. Now, after that, it's Math Success Center. I've already mentioned that. It's on the left side here. I highly recommend you go to their website and find out, what they have. They have a welcoming message, and they tell you, check out all the services at MSC, Math Success Center, that has to offer. And basically, they have free tutoring. They also offer you calculators. I believe it's, of course, limited numbers available to the students. You want to check that out. So please explore this website of Math Success Center to see what they have to offer you. Okay, we walk up tutoring, so on and so forth. Now, I want to also look at this thing, recorded practice test lectures. Also, you can find the solution to the practice test here. And I have various stuff here. Basically, you should be interested in this one. These are recorded, modules previously, but this is the latest one. And that's my YouTube channel. And it's got everything that we have covered. For example, module 1, practice test 1, chapter 1, introduction to Stat. Therefore, what I'm saying is, here's the practice test. Here's the solution to practice test. And here's the recording to practice test. So everything is available to you, class. Okay, everything is available to you. However, please do them in that fashion, in the order that I mentioned, so you can learn on your own rather than just watching the solution. All right. As I mentioned, then you want to take the exams again. All of them are take place in my Open Math. and the information about the office hours. Now, I want to give you the information about my open math. So let's leave the student view. And as I mentioned, under the modules, if you click here, it will take you to my open math. And you see it gives you the section number and everything. At the very top, I put what's called mandatory assignment introduction to my open math. And I want to actually start with that because you need to do this to learn how to work within my open math. And it's due tomorrow. So today I expect you to do that. If you start that, okay, so basically entering numbers, converting from decimal to fractions, and it's got the questions. So as an example, if I put here, enter this number 85.4164, okay, and this one to the nearest hundred, so 85.1, now 4.41. Either one remains or goes up. It goes up to 2 because when it says nearest hundreds, this is what we look at. 1, we either keep it or we take it up. So we take it up by 1 notch because next to it is 6. And can we divide by 0? No. Okay. It's undefined or DNE does not exist. Okay. Now, if you submit your question, it puts a check mark, meaning it's right, otherwise it's wrong. And you can get a similar question and redo it for 4 credit. Even if you get anything wrong, submit, get a similar question. That's all you have to do. 1/3, change it to a decimal, so on and so forth. And you continue, you finish the job. Instead, something comes up. If you click on done here, notice what it says. So 1 question is done and you got 4 credit. What about the rest of them are unattempted? So what can you do? You can exit or you can resume. So if I exit, anytime I click on this before the due date, I can resume. I can resume. Okay. And that's what I mean. Sky is the limit. When you start an assignment, you don't necessarily have to finish it right away. And you can take as long as you want because it's all about you learning. Then I put the exams at top because sometimes students have a hard time finding the exams. You don't have to worry about this at all yet. But when the time comes and it is password protected. Then we have the course description. It's a statistics. Then we have the calendar. As far as the calendar is concerned, over here, you can change the number of weeks to show. Okay, so I like it for 4 weeks. So as you can see, the homeworks are coming up very soon. I want to make sure everybody understands all homeworks are clustered before the first exam. Does it mean I have to do the homeworks then and there? No. If you don't do the homework on a daily basis, you will not make it in this course. Please, every day, do 1 or 2. What about this one, which is red? It says it's due immediately tomorrow, which is what? Introduction tomorrow. Okay. All right. So what do we find afterwards? Module 0 is basically resources. So I quickly show you what they are. Here's the textbook. View online. And we have the textbook here. It's to me, it's more like a reference. And this is based on this introductory statistics is based on that. This one is, we have changed the format to fit the chapters that we have here. So if you want the format to fit the chapters that we have here, is here. If you uh, if you want it to be available online and easy to navigate, then you use the other one. And you can update this here. So I'm going to go back to my open math again. This one, this is the one that has the order as we want it. Based on this one is easier to navigate. In any, how to use a late pass to review your assignments, because that question comes up. Okay, your assignment is done. How do you review that? Instructor resources, those are my resources, tables and formula sheets and so on and so forth. Now, as you go down, again, these are all resources. You may not need any of them. These are various free online calculators. If you don't have a TI calculator, if you can't make TI calculator online work for you, and you want a free calculator, they are all here. But you have to work with them a little bit and see which one works out the best for you. Okay, so I'm not going to click on any of them because they do have some advertisement next to them, but they are all calculators that are available. A basic scientific calculator, for example, is this one, and that's available. Okay, Desmos calculator. And then the playlist for TI calculator. Again, these are all resources. P-value calculator, for those of you who don't know, when we get to the test of hypothesis, you can use various calculators for the p-value. You need to understand the concept, but it's here, and also you can use a TI. And there's a video as to how to use one of those calculators, Desmos. Okay, so I'm going down, and finally, other external websites, I should say, again, calculators, daily schedule, calculator, study schedule, Khan Academy. We have a lot of stuff here. They are all resources, all under module 0, everybody. I'm going to, shrink it like that. And I'm going to open up module 1. They are all the same. So I'm going to look at module 1. If you open it up, it has various chapters. If you open up module 2, has various chapters, so on and so forth. I'm going to stick with module 1, and I'm going to show you under module 1, we find the chapters of interest, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And so when you start with the first one, for example, chapter 1, section 1.1, first, you're supposed to watch this video. If you don't even go over the PowerPoints that I have in the modules of calculus, and you watch this, they give you enough information. And these are my videos. Okay, these are my videos. If you watch those only, they should give you enough information so you'll be able to start your homework and do that. So that's 1.1, for example, right? If we open 1.2, we see the same, order. We have some videos to watch, instructors video, that's video lectures, that's mine. Recommended video lectures by others, and I highly recommend you start with this, and if those are enough, you do that, and then you do the homework. The same thing for 1.3, the same thing for chapter 2, 2.1, so on and so forth. So when you finish that, for example, this is 1.2, and you finish that, and you come across now the homework, you get that started, and it works exactly like, it works exactly like introduction assignment. So you answer a question, you come back to answer it later on. That works out absolutely fine. So in this case, wage per hour. So it's quantitative. Basically, it involves numbers. Okay. Gender is qualitative. So for example, here, I submit the question, it check marks for me. Here, I submit the question, it check, I didn't submit it. Number two, yes, I did. But if I make a mistake, all I have to do is to get a similar question and I have a chance to fix that and get my full credit. Again, I do the same thing. Something comes up, I'm done. It says you did 2 questions, but the rest of them are unattempted. What do you want to do? You want to resume or you want to exit? So I'm going to exit for now. But anytime I come back, it gives me a chance to resume or exit. And when I resume, it just, as soon as I put the 2 questions right, it gives me those points. But the rest of them, as soon as I do them. And as long as I do them before the due date, I get full credit. So let's go back to the homepage of the Canvas. A quick recap. On homepage of a Canvas, you have everything you're looking for. First, there was a welcome message, class philosophy, announcements. Again, for the exams, you will receive announcements. It has all the information. Then we went over the syllabus, modules that has practice test, PowerPoint solution to practice test, homework can be found under the modules or the MOM or My Open Math. The keys to practice tests are there, discussion forum. As I said, this one, you don't have to worry about it, but make sure you watch the recorded practice test lectures after you're done with practice test on your own exams. Again, if you click on it, it takes you to modules, which means you have to take the exams here. Okay. And finally, as I mentioned, the office hours in case there are any questions. And so everything is set up for you. As long as you follow the steps on the home page of the Canvas, you should be fine. If there's any question, you're more than welcome to always contact me. I wish you all best of luck and happy studying.